Okay, so are you ready to unpack this whole sugar thing? I
I think
mean,
so.
it's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And we're all wondering, is it really as bad as everyone says?
Well, let's dive in and find out.
Yeah, we're going deep on this one.
Exactly.
We're looking at this interview with Dr. Robert Lustig. He's like this renowned expert on sugar metabolism
Oh, yeah, he's the guy.
from the Diary of a CEO YouTube channel.
Right.
And he really doesn't hold back, like calling out the food industry,
No, he does not.
offering some pretty bold solutions.
He's got some strong opinions.
Yeah, so get ready for some straight talk.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that I found fascinating is, like, right off the bat, Dr. Lustig makes this really important distinction between types of sugar.
Yeah, he's very clear about that.
He says table sugar is made of glucose, A and D fructose.
Right?
And he says glucose is no problem. Our bodies need it.
Yeah. It's essential.
But fructose is where things get kind of tricky.
Yeah, that's where the trouble starts.
So what's so bad about fructose?
Well, your liver, it can only process a small amount of fructose each day. It's okay.
Like 6 to 9 teaspoons.
Huh.
And anything beyond that, your body treats it kind of like alcohol.
Really? Like it actually metabolizes it? Similar?
Yeah, similar metabolic pathways.
Wow, that can't be good.
Not good at all.
So even if I'm not like chugging soda all day,
Right.
I could be overloading on fructose without even knowing it.
That's the scary part. Most people are.
So how do we avoid it? Like if it's hidden everywhere.
Well, that's the kicker. Dr. Lustig says added sugar is lurking in like 73% of grocery store items.
73%.
It's crazy.
No wonder we're all struggling with this.
Even stuff we think is healthy, you know?
Yeah.
Like he gives this example of Raisin Bran.
Okay.
You think it's just the raisins that make it sweet, right?
Right? Yeah.
Nope. They actually coat those raisins in a sugar solution.
Are you serious? So it's like a hidden sugar bomb.
Basically.
Oh man, that is sneaky.
It's really eye-opening.
It just makes you realize like how much the food industry is kind of manipulating us.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Into consuming way more sugar than we even realize.
It's a big problem.
Okay, so we've got fructose down.
Right.
What about calories? Like if we're watching our calories, shouldn't we be okay?
Well, that's where Dr. Lustig throws this major curveball.
What do you mean?
He says calorie counting is totally misleading.
Wait, really? Explain that one.
Okay, so it's not just about like the number of calories.
Right.
It's about how your body actually processes them.
Right.
And fructose, for example, it actually makes it harder for your body to generate energy efficiently. So you could be eating the quote-unquote right number of calories
Yeah.
and still be doing damage.
Wow.
It's a whole different way of looking at things.
This is really making me rethink my whole approach to food.
It's about quality, not just quantity.
You know, speaking of making healthy choices, have you heard about this Japanese water loophole?
The Japanese water loophole? No, what's that?
Okay, so it's this like amazing method that's been helping people like effortlessly lose weight.
Right.
Yeah, it involves this specific type of water ritual from Japan.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out.
Definitely.
But for now, let's get back to Dr. Lustig and his insights on insulin.
Okay. Yeah.
Because he's saying sugar sends your insulin levels soaring.
Right. Which is a problem
Because insulin's a growth hormone.
Exactly.
And if you have chronically high levels of insulin, it can lead to all sorts of health problems.
Yeah, like you mentioned, heart disease,
Right.
cancer, even dementia.
Yeah, scary stuff.
It's serious business.
And he highlighted this study where kids who cut back on sugar, they saw these huge improvements in just 10 days,
I know, that's amazing, right?
even though their calorie intake stayed the same.
That's the key.
So it really shows how powerful just reducing sugar can be.
It's not a magic bullet, but it's a big piece of the puzzle.
So it's not just about weight, it's about our overall health.
Exactly. It's about everything.
Okay, so we've talked about fructose, we've talked about insulin.
Right.
Now let's talk about diet soda.
Yes, the 0-calorie trap.
I bet Dr. Lustig has something to say about that.
Oh, he does.
What's he saying?
He warns that diet soda isn't as innocent as it seems. Those artificial sweeteners, they can still mess with your insulin levels.
Really?
Yeah, and your gut bacteria. And
Huh?
even cause inflammation.
So even though it says 0 sugar on the label,
Right.
our bodies are still freaking out.
Pretty much.
That's crazy.
And here's a really sobering thought.
Okay.
Dr. Lustig compares the toxicity of one regular soda to 2 diet sodas.
Oh, wow.
He avoids both.
Okay, I'm officially bitching the diet soda.
Good choice.
What about other effects of sugar?
Like what?
Like, is it really linked to things like fatty liver disease and, mental health issues?
He says yes, definitely.
Really?
He talks about fatty liver disease being a growing problem
Hmm.
and how sugar can even play a role in things like ADD and depression.
That's a connection I hadn't really thought about before.
It's important to understand the link.
So sugar isn't just impacting our physical health, it's messing with our minds, too.
It affects the whole system.
Right.
He shared how reducing sugar in kids' diets actually led to improvements in their behavior, their focus, even their grades.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's pretty powerful.
Okay, so we know sugar is bad for us,
Right.
but what about those of us who are thin? Are we off the hook?
Not necessarily. Dr. Lustig debunks this myth that thinness equals health.
Okay.
He introduces this concept of skinny fat.
Skinny fat. What's that?
So you can look slim,
Yeah.
but still be carrying a lot of hidden health risks.
Oh, wow.
It's all about where that fat is stored.
Okay.
And get this, Dr. Lustig says even just half a pound of liver fat is enough to make you metabolically ill.
Half a pound. That's terrifying.
It's not a lot.
So it's clear that there's a lot more to health than meets the eye.
Absolutely. Appearances can be deceiving.
So what's the solution? Like, how do we combat this?
Well, Dr. Lustig doesn't shy away from calling out the food industry's role in all of this.
I bet he's got a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
What are some of his thoughts?
He exposes how they prioritize profit over our health.
Oh, for sure.
Misleading advertising, confusing labels, even paying scientists to downplay the harms of sugar.
Right.
It's pretty shocking.
So it's like we're fighting this losing battle against this system that's designed to make us sick.
It feels that way sometimes.
That's disheartening.
But he's not all doom and gloom.
Okay.
He argues that we need societal intervention
Yeah.
and regulation.
Mm-hmm.
He points to successes like the UK's sodium reduction campaign,
Okay.
which shows that collective action and government intervention can work.
So it's not just about individual choices. It's about systemic change.
It's both.
Got it.
And then he introduces this idea of environmental obesogens.
Environmental obesogens. What are those?
These are chemicals in our environment that can disrupt hormones and promote weight gain.
What? So it's not even just the food. It's like the air we breathe, the water we drink.
It's everywhere.
Oh, man. This is intense.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Where are these obesogens found?
They're in pesticides, plastics, cosmetics, even canned foods.
Canned foods.
Really?
It's scary.
It's everywhere.
You heard this really shocking fact.
What's that?
Exposure to DDT, a pesticide that was banned decades ago,
Yeah.
is still linked to obesity in kids born today.
Wow.
That's how powerful these things are.
So even things that we were exposed to years ago can still be affecting our health today.
It's a long-term impact.
This is really eye-opening.
It highlights how complex this whole issue is.
Right.
The interplay between our genes, our environment, and our lifestyle choices.
Yeah.
We can't control everything,
Right.
but we can certainly make informed choices about what we eat.
Okay, I like that. So speaking of what we eat, Dr. Lustig is a big proponent of fiber.
Say is he loves fiber.
Okay, but what's so great about fiber?
Well, here's the thing about fiber.
Okay.
It's not directly for us.
What?
It's for the trillions of bacteria living in our gut.
Oh, right. The gut microbiome.
I've heard that's super important for overall health.
It's essential.
Okay.
And fiber helps to create this diverse and healthy gut microbiome,
Got it.
which is linked to everything from digestion to immunity.
Really?
Yeah, and even to our mental state.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
So it's not just about staying regular. It's about feeding the good bacteria in our gut.
Exactly. Give them what they need.
I like it. I like it. So what does he say about those of us who think juice is a healthy way to get our fruits and veggies?
He does not hold back.
What does he say?
He explains how the food industry removes fiber from juice
Really?
to extend shelf life
Oh, okay.
and boost profits,
Huh.
leaving us with these nutrient-stripped drinks.
That's so frustrating.
It's like they're taking away the best part. He
Yeah.
even has this fun challenge,
What's that?
freeze and thaw an apple
Okay.
to see how fiber impacts its texture.
Interesting.
It's a great visual to
Yeah.
understand what's happening.
I'm definitely going to try that.
It's pretty cool.
Okay, so here's a big question I have.
Shoot.
If we're constantly bombarded with all these unhealthy choices
Right.
and all this misleading information,
Yeah,
how much personal responsibility can we really take?
that's a tough one.
It feels overwhelming sometimes.
It is.
Yeah.
He argues that personal responsibility alone isn't enough to solve the obesity epidemic. He says we need to address like the broader societal and systemic factors that contribute to unhealthy choices.
So it's like we need a complete overhaul of the food system if we want to truly tackle this problem.
That's what he's suggesting.
Okay, so we've got to look beyond individual choices.
Just bigger than all of us.
Okay, so we've talked about the dangers of sugar,
Right.
the food industry's tactics,
Yeah.
and this idea of personal responsibility versus like systemic change.
It's complex.
It is.
And before we dive into Dr. Lustig's framework for achieving contentment and well-being,
Okay.
I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
The Japanese water loophole.
Right.
If you're intrigued by the idea of effortless weight loss, make sure to check out the link in the description.
Absolutely. It can be a great tool to complement everything we're learning from Dr. Lustig.
It's worth exploring.
So now let's hear what he has to say about achieving true contentment and well-being.
All right, let's do it. So he lays out this framework called the 4 C's of contentment.
Okay.
Connect, contribute, cope, and cook.
The 4 C's.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
It's all about getting back to basics.
So tell me more about how these C's connect to our health.
Well, he explains how each C actually influences our brain chemistry.
Okay.
Like social connection,
Yeah.
it boosts serotonin, which makes us feel, happy and content.
So ditch the endless scrolling on social media and actually like hang out with real people.
Exactly. Face-to-face interaction is key.
Okay.
It triggers these mirror neurons in our brains, which help us connect on a deeper level. You can't get that from a screen.
Yeah, that's so true.
We've become so isolated even when we're constantly like connected online.
Right. It's like this paradox.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's connect.
Right.
What about contribute?
So contributing is all about doing something for others.
Okay.
Whether it's volunteering or supporting a cause,
Yeah.
it gives us a sense of purpose.
So it's like that feeling of, doing good and then feeling good.
You got it.
Okay.
And that sense of purpose, it actually reduces cortisol, the stress hormone,
Oh, wow.
while also boosting serotonin.
So it's like a double whammy.
It's a win-win.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got connect, contribute. What about cope? I mean, stress is like a huge part of modern life.
It is. It's everywhere.
How do we cope?
Well, he highlights sleep mindfulness and exercise as key coping mechanisms.
Okay, those are good ones.
Sleep deprivation sends cortisol levels through the roof,
Yeah, for sure.
while mindfulness practices like meditation can help calm the amygdala.
Oh, right. The amygdala. That's like the fear center of the brain.
Exactly.
And then exercise.
Yeah. Exercise is huge.
I mean, everyone knows Sauer releases endorphins.
Right. Which make you happy.
Yeah.
But he goes deeper than that.
Oh, really? How so?
He explains that regular exercise, it actually improves your body's response to insulin.
Huh. Interesting.
It reduces inflammation
Okay.
and even helps grow new brain cells.
Wait, exercise can make your brain bigger.
It can. It's pretty amazing.
I'm sold. Sign me up.
Right.
Okay, so that's contribute, cope,
And last but not least, we have cook.
cook.
Yeah. And this is all about taking control of what we're putting into our bodies.
So I'm guessing this means like ditching the processed food and embracing real whole foods?
You got it.
Okay.
He says we should be eating food that comes from the ground
Okay.
or animals that ate food from the ground. Simple as that.
I like it. It makes sense.
Right.
But I'll be honest, I'm not much of a cook.
That's okay.
Any advice for those of us who are, kitchen challenged?
He keeps it really simple.
All right.
Start with fresh ingredients, experiment with flavors, and don't be afraid to try new things.
Yeah.
Even small changes can make a big difference.
Like swapping out chips for veggies.
Exactly.
Or trying a new whole grain recipe once a week. It's about progress, not perfection.
That's the key.
Okay, so we've got connect, contribute, cope, cook.
The 4 C's.
But let's get real for a second.
Okay.
Dr. Lustig, he's pretty critical of the food industry, right?
He doesn't mince words.
What does he say about their tactics?
Well, he calls them out for their deceptive marketing.
Yeah.
Prioritizing profits over our health.
For sure.
And even influencing government policies that benefit them, not us.
It's like they're rigging the system.
In a way, yeah.
So how do we fight back against such a powerful industry?
He admits it's tough.
Yeah.
But not hopeless.
Okay.
He points to successes like the UK's sodium reduction campaign,
Right.
which shows that collective action and government intervention can work.
So it's not just about like individual choices.
Yeah.
It's about like really pushing for systemic change.
Yeah. We need both.
Got it.
And then there's this whole other layer.
What's that?
He talks about this theory of the amygdala being overactive in modern life.
The amygdala. Okay. Can you explain that a little bit more?
So the amygdala is like the brain's fear center.
Right.
It's supposed to help us respond to threats.
Yeah.
But in today's world, we're constantly bombarded with stressors,
Yeah, that's true.
which keeps our amygdalas in overdrive.
So we're basically in a constant state of fight or flight.
Pretty much.
Wow.
And that chronic stress, it wreaks havoc on our bodies and minds,
Right.
leading to inflammation, hormonal imbalances, anxiety, depression, even impulsive behaviors.
It's like our brains are wired for a world that no longer exists.
Exactly. We haven't caught up.
So what can we do to like calm down our amygdalas?
Well, he suggests a combination of individual practices,
Okay.
like mindfulness and stress reduction techniques,
Okay.
and then also like societal changes
Mm.
to address the root causes of our collective stress.
Okay, so it's like a two-pronged approach.
Yeah, we need to tackle it from both angles.
It's about creating a more peaceful and supportive environment, both internally and externally.
That's a good way to put it.
Right.
It's recognizing that our well-being is interconnected. A healthier society means addressing what's causing us all this stress and anxiety.
It's a big challenge.
It is.
But imagine if calming our collective amygdala could lead to like more peace and well-being for everyone.
It's a powerful vision,
It is.
and he believes it's possible.
I like that.
He reminds us that we have the power to choose love over fear, connection over division, and healing over harm.
I love that our choices matter.
They do.
And speaking of choices, before we get to Dr. Lustig's final thoughts, I want to mention that Japanese water loophole again.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
If you're looking for a way to support your weight loss journey,
Yeah.
check out the link in the description.
It's worth exploring.
Absolutely.
As Dr. Lustig emphasizes, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
The more we understand our bodies, the better choices we can make.
Right. So now let's hear what Dr. Lustig has to say about breaking free from the sugar trap and reclaiming our health and happiness. So we've learned a lot about the dangers of sugar and the food industry's tactics and how important it is to make those healthy choices. But where do we go from here? Like, what's Dr. Lustig's ultimate message?
Well, he leaves us with this really empowering message of hope. He says we're not victims of our biology or the food industry. You know, we have the power to make different choices.
I like that. It's about taking back control of our health.
Exactly. It's about empowerment.
Yeah.
And he reminds us that, you know, we're part of a larger ecosystem.
Right.
And our choices impact not just ourselves, but like the world around us.
It's a good reminder that we're all interconnected.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
But on a personal level, how do we actually, like, break free from those sugar cravings?
Yeah.
Feels like our brains are wired to want it.
They are. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
He offers some practical advice.
Okay.
First, he says awareness is key.
Okay.
The more we understand how sugar hijacks our brain chemistry,
Right.
the better equipped we are to resist those temptations.
So knowledge is power, yet again.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
He also encourages finding healthier ways to satisfy that dopamine craving.
Okay, so like instead of reaching for a cookie,
Right.
go for a walk.
Yeah.
Listen to music.
Connect with someone you love.
Yeah, find those healthy dopamine hits.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
It's about finding those alternatives.
Okay.
And lastly, he reminds us that change takes time and effort.
Yeah.
We might slip up,
Yeah, for sure.
but it's about progress, not perfection.
Absolutely. And we don't have to do it alone, right? Like there are resources and communities out there to support us.
Yeah, there's a whole movement of people trying to make healthier choices.
Okay, good to know.
And speaking of resources, let's give one final shout out to that Japanese water loophole we mentioned earlier.
Oh, yes. Good idea.
If you're looking for a way to support your weight loss journey,
Yeah.
the link is in the description.
It's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Okay, so any final words of wisdom from Dr. Lustig before we wrap up?
He reminds us that science is always evolving. You know, what we know today might change tomorrow.
Right.
So it's important to stay curious, question assumptions, and never stop learning.
I love that. Stay curious and keep an open mind.
Exactly.
Well, this deep dive with Dr. Lustig has been incredibly eye-opening.
It's been a good one.
It has. I feel inspired to like take a more informed and holistic approach to my health.
I think that's the key takeaway here.
It is.
It's about looking at the whole picture.
Right.
Remember, every choice we make, every action we take contributes to a healthier future.
Ourselves and the world.
Exactly.
Couldn't agree more. And hey, if you're ready to kickstart your health journey and try something new, don't forget to check out the Japanese water loophole. You can find the link in the description of this podcast. Who knows, it might just be the missing piece you've been searching for.
It's worth a shot.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of sugar and its impact on our health. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay empowered.